Check, check. I have a surprise for you. I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
You ready?
Yeah.
Boomston, 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 Do you like Star Wars, right?
You look really, really good.
They're like Star Wars
They're
things.
the clones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stole them from a. You remember like when the Force Awakens came out, like
Yeah.
they were having they were giving this for the 3D thing.
For the three, you took them. That's so fun.
And they're so
That's
cool. And I
hilarious.
took that little thing out because it's
They're
just
very fun.
yeah. Okay. Well, Giselle, I want to finally welcome you to the Artist Dogs. For those of you who don't know Giselle, she is one of the most special friends I got that life brought to me because of, destiny, I guess. And I met her in LA. She's a very, 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 very talented woman. Uh, please give it up for her. Yeah, ooh, and I want to let her introduce herself. Just tell us, Giselle, what's your name, and what do you love? What are you? Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, thank you for that introduction. My name, I am Giselle Durand. My pronouns are she, her. And I ultimately am a theatrical director. I love to do other things too. In college, I took classes in like everything that I could because I just like to have like an all around knowledge. And as a director, it helps
Yeah.
know all of that stuff. But overall, I consider myself like a creative person. And as the bio that I spent hours writing says, I am a theatrical Swiss Army knife.
Wait a
So
minute. You spent hours writing a bio for what?
for like, well, I was in this program thing, and they were like writing an article about all the participants, and so I had to have a bio.
Oh,
You know,
you said you were a Swiss Army knife. Can you say that again?
a theatrical Swiss Army knife.
Okay, elaborate. I want to hear that. Like,
It's like I don't just do one thing. I like to
uh-huh.
do I have lots of different tools under my belt, and I
Yeah.
can, do lighting, do set, do sound, do stage management, do directing, do acting, all that stuff cuz I've taken like at least intro classes in each of those things. So I'm not an expert at all, but I can like dip my
Yeah.
toe in a little
I
bit
know.
everything.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I don't know if this is a thing that's happening right now, or I don't know, it's just certain people have this. But I've been hearing this like more and more over like people are understanding that they're not just meant to do one thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been hearing a lot of people, yeah, I'm like I do this, I do that, I do that, and it's almost like I don't know if there's a correlation with what's happening with like schools and all the
Hmm.
information we're acquiring. We're like kind of developing more of our skill set, but our creativity, and like we're starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like there's.
Yeah, I think we're kind of recognizing that we're like more than one-dimensional human beings,
Yeah.
and like just the concept of capitalism and the execution of the society that we're in has forced everyone to try and like follow one thing, and like this is how you contribute to
Mhm.
society, this is like what you do. But I think like in a very strange and backwards way that COVID has like forced us to spend time with ourselves and made us realize that
Yeah.
we are like full people who like to do different things, and we're not meant to just do one thing, we're not meant to be a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
And like all there's so many numbers saying that record numbers of people quit their jobs during the pandemic because they realize that they're not
They're
enjoying it, like
they're
that's
not,
not
and
what
they're
they.
not machines. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And it's also. I mean, this is connects to everything that is going on. I've been reading some things, and I'm almost curious to
Yeah.
see what you think. But there is something really exciting, like boiling underneath the surface right now, where
Hmm.
like there's a lot of course technologies, new technologies that are being developed,
Yeah.
and we're coming out of this. Well, not coming out, but we're like in the midst of this gray area of the pandemic. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and it feels like there's the comeuppance of a new renaissance.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's crazy because that only happens like every, I don't know, I guess 600 years, or I don't know how.
Yeah. Well, I've also like seen some infographics, and that's not to say that I'm like nearly educated enough to be
Right, right, right,
speaking
right,
on the
right.
topic, but
Right.
like I've seen some stuff comparing like the fall of Rome and the French Revolution to very similar statistics of where we are economically and socially right now. And also like I think it was the fall of Greece. Like I don't know. It was some country, but it was like after 250 years, like an empire starts to become very unstable, and that's like where we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also this thing of like, we're almost in the dark ages where like, um, related to what we were just saying just a minute ago,
Mhm.
like all these people like are realizing their potential. There's like this
Yeah.
need for like, I want to
Uh
create, and
huh.
that's in the air. Like that's not only like
Yeah.
on one place. That's happening all around. And there are two techno. I heard this on a podcast of actually Nick Dart. You know Nick Dart,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he showed it to me. I'm I'm gonna paraphrase it and make it super simple.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
there were two technologies that were invented by the Medici family, or like around that time in the Dark Ages, before like the boom of the Renaissance.
Hmm.
And we are experiencing two new technologies that are very similar context-wise, um, like everything that's happening with it. They call it the Web 3, or like, the whole blockchain, NFT, all this technology that it's kind of coming into the world.
Yeah.
It's also related with this whole evolution and like decentralizing, essentially. It's not gonna be like through, there's not gonna be like intermediate, how do you say it, intermediate between us. Like if we're
Okay.
like, there's gonna be more of a direct one-on-one. Like if I'm selling you a piece of art, for
Hmm.
example, I don't need to go to the bank and be like, okay, can I get it, and do all this
Oh yeah.
paperwork, and then be like, okay, now you can have my. No, no, it's more like there's this very smart technology that already accounts
Yeah.
for
It's
it.
like a direct channel.
Yeah, and that, it's not only for selling or buying, it's also like, I guess, communication. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm still like novice in the theme, so that's why I don't want to like talk without knowing, but
Yeah.
it's more or less around that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like the people getting closer together and not needing like the overarching powers as much.
Yeah, I mean, and like think about education right now. Like
Mm.
it's almost like we're learning, like you and I, we graduated not too long ago, right?
Right.
And it's almost like the communities that we're forming right now, it's also the communities that are keeping our, like, I don't know, information going, or like we're learning things from each other,
Hmm. Hmm.
and like being our own educators together, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's more like community based, less like, oh, I go to someone who's an expert and tells me. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's a little a huge derail. Um, I did want to ask. So, previous to your conversation, you were saying that you've been feeling sort of this thing with your creativity. I think it happens to a lot of artists,
Yeah.
but like, you call it frustration in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Creatively frustrated. For
Yeah.
sure.
Do you know how you got there? Like, or it just happened?
Um, this is the whole thing that swirls in my head because I place like 90% of the blame on COVID.
Hmm.
And I'm like, like I want to work at a theater company and I want to like work on seasons and direct shows and learn from people. And it is very difficult to do that when everything is shutting down and then getting revamped and then shutting down
Right.
every 2 weeks, it feels like.
Yeah.
And so in order to spare myself the heartbreak of being involved in something that just immediately falls to pieces, I've decided to take like take some time and just kind of figure out, because I moved to a new city right after I graduated college. Like I decided to make all of these life changes at
Yeah.
once, and it's overwhelming and a lot to adjust to.
Yeah.
But
You're in
like
Chicago, right?
I'm in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved to Chicago with like some of my best friends that I've known for like 10 years, which is amazing. And it's really good to have that support system here.
Yeah.
But but because of that, like I don't have nearly as many connections as I did in LA. And so finding my way around the theatrical community here, especially in such a like a low point, I would say,
Hmm.
is really hard.
Yeah.
And it's really impossible. And so I kind of, when I moved here, I applied for theater jobs for like a month and a half, but no one is really looking for like an entry level director right now, because the few shows that are getting put up are being given to like more experienced directors, and like internships and apprenticeships are on hold because like you're just another person in the room, which is a COVID risk. And it's
I do want
like
to say though,
all of
big parentheses though, this is not to say you're just any director. I do want to emphasize Giselle's a freaking fantastic director. Like I'm not saying it because I'm your friend. I like it is part of who you like your natural talents. You know what I mean?
yeah, I love it, and thank you for that. That means a lot. But I don't have the experience to back that up like
Right.
professionally, and so I
Right.
don't really get interviews even where I can like tell them why I'd be good for things.
Right.
um yeah, and so all of that to say is that it feels very difficult to engage in an artistic community that is foreign to me in a time where like 75% of things are shut down from what
Yeah.
they normally would be. And so when I moved here, after giving it a like a month and a half go, and then realizing that I didn't have the funds to keep just like applying for theater jobs, I got grace and I said, you know what? Things are fucked right now, and I am going to do what I can, which is do like work in an indie bookstore, which has been really fine.
Yeah,
It's been good.
exactly.
Like, but like I said, it's been making me feel so creatively frustrated because I love theater and I love creating and I love working with people, and I'm not doing that.
Right. Isn't it crazy? Like even like, yeah, I'm gonna just look something that looks fun, try it, but if it's not what you love, it's still like unfulfilling, right?
Oh, completely. And it's like, yeah, I'm paying my rent, but like I'm working a just above minimum wage job to do it. And like, it's customer service ultimately. Like, it's
Yeah.
fucking retail. December sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
No.
but the cool thing is, and I was telling you about this when we talked the other day, is that I've been reading so much because of it. Because I like, we get working in a bookstore, publishers send you all of these up and coming books. So we get books that are coming out in like months
What?
because they want us to read them beforehand and then like want to order more to sell them.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so I've been getting all of these like unpublished advanced reader copies is what they're called, ARCs. And like, so I've been reading so much because we just get all these free books. And in a way, like that totally contributes to the artistic process because you need to take in so much of your surroundings, and just
Absolutely.
like learning more about the world and being educated helps you create in whatever vein you're looking to
Yeah,
create
you're
in.
like literally filling up your well.
Yeah, filling up the well. And it just, I think it's building and building, because the well of knowledge and like the well
Yeah.
of everything that I'm doing like doesn't have anywhere to like leak to. Like the stones are packed too tight. I
Right.
don't have
Right.
any like anything to do. And so I've been looking lately a lot for more ways to express my creativity, and that's kind of like come out in writing and collaging, but it's not the same. It's not the same
Not the
as working
same.
with an actor.
No. I do want to hear more about two. Yeah, I want to hear about what it is at the core of that you love about directing and working with actors, because it is such a like intimate relationship.
Yeah. It's I love I just love the guidance process of it, because like what you're supposed to do as a director and what I do as a director is know the show back to front before I start working with the actors. And that's like knowing the show, and that's knowing like maybe half the characters, because also one of my favorite things is like letting an actor find the character and not just like giving them something to do. I love the collaborative process of it.
Yeah.
and like finding out, what part of their body a character leads with, why did they deliver that line that way? What is their relationship with this other person?
Yeah.
And I love putting those pieces together and making it a collaborative effort. And
Yeah, because
like,
it's a, sorry to interrupt.
no, you're good.
But it's
Yeah.
such a mutual project. It's not like, I don't know, I
Mhm.
think like a lot of people get the idea when they see a movie specifically. I know it's more prevalent in theater, but like, oh, they think that the theater did it, the director did everything, or
Right.
or it was just
Well,
the actors.
and I've worked with some directors that are just like, okay, I want you to do this and deliver it this way and do this. And that just bugs me so
Yeah,
much.
it just doesn't work.
It's like actors aren't just doing this for a job either. Like they really like this. So, like I take in all the facts and I know like the characters' backgrounds and like what is shown in the script, but I let the actors choose what to do with that. And I make sure that they have all that background information
Yeah.
in order for them to make the most educated choices about why their characters like that. Like, oh, maybe my character has a drinking problem. Like, how does that all connect? And then we find how they exist in the universe of the play together. And I
Yeah.
love that. And I just love seeing something from the beginning and watching all of the elements build on each other until there's like a show.
Yeah, it does it have to, that's so interesting. There needs to be something that is exposed, right? There's no not such thing as directing without a horizon,
Yeah,
right?
right. Like there's always the underlying motive and vision behind it. Like creating mood boards for shows. Like I always create a mood board.
Right.
And that's like the first thing that I show to my designers. I'm like, I'm gonna let you do what you will, and like what like the script says needs to be there. This is like the mood that I'm thinking of. What do you think? Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, no, and
Is that what
it's
you
in,
mean?
kind of, yeah, because it's also like there's it doesn't make sense to direct something that is never going to be shown to people.
Right. Yeah, that's the other aspect of it. It's like, how will the audience react to this?
Right.
Yeah.
And like I was in this show, or like it was it was like an experience, I guess. I call it an experience because it was rehearsal, 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 and then we were moving somewhere, but the show never approached, if you know what I mean. There was never like a date of the show. There's
Mm.
a moment where it's like you're not directing any part to it. Feels like the ship is
Yeah.
still anchored, like the we're not going anywhere, so there's no direction.
If there's no date that you're going up.
Right. And it's so interesting. It's so interesting how like even
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be an acting, but it's like knowing the north of something, or knowing where like the piece is going to land.
Hmm.
That vision, having that vision, and like
Yeah,
having to follow through the vision, it's what makes it fun too. Or like,
totally. And like that, not to say like an expiration date, but like a date of when something is going up is what makes it more special.
right.
Because I've been thinking a lot and like ruminating on the concept of like the things being finite is what makes them special.
Yeah. What do you mean by
Yeah.
finite? I'm sorry.
Like, like infinite,
Okay.
opposite of infinite.
Okay.
Like things have an end date.
Got it.
And if things were endless and infinite and there was we would take them for granted. We
Absolutely.
totally take them for granted. And so I think that that's the cool thing about theater too, is like this is when we're opening, and so all of this has to be laid out on the table.
Yeah.
Like it all has to be there,
Yeah.
and we have to make it by that point because that's when it's happening. And like the same thing, like when we did our program in Bonn, it was like, oh, this is 4 months, we have to like get it all out there because we know it's going to be over.
Right. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you're tapping right now. You're like hitting such an important point that I've also noticed in how we let out creativity. I
Yeah.
read this recently on, I think it was a book or a quote. It said something like, if you give an artist uh, a piece of paper, a blank paper, just blank paper,
Mm-hmm.
it is harder to create than if you give him a piece of paper with some lines already delineated. So the idea that we need constrictions, or we need some
Mm,
kind of barriers that serve as a starting point in
yeah.
order for creativity to actually flow or come out.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's born out of those constraints. Like you think about the most creative directors and the things that they've done. Oh, they didn't have enough money, or they didn't have all the cameras, and they
Mhm.
invented this crazy thing or method or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and did made it happen, and it's like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's interesting though, because then I'm like thinking you are kind of sort of experiencing that in a way. Because right now you're in a position where you have, I mean, I guess it's another life. I don't know. I don't know if it applies, but it's like you can really do what you love,
Right.
but that's making your creativity go like, ah.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting part to compare is that like I am facing a shit ton of restrictions right now and
Right.
what I can feasibly do out of like what I love to do, but it's not the same as like doing it and being restricted. You know, like if I was
Right.
working on a show and there was like a budget, then I'd have to find a way around it. But I'm not even like in the room of doing a show right now. It's like I can't. So
Yes.
what am I? Like my restrictions are that, excuse me, that I can't like do what I want to be doing.
Right.
But again, it's like a blank piece of paper. So what do I do?
Exactly.
There's no lines on my paper. Like
Yeah.
what I want to do, I can't do. So how do I
Yeah.
exercise
I
the,
see.
yeah.
No, it is such a hard it's a hard situation. I think a lot of people find themselves there.
Yeah.
Um, I've been thinking though, like certain about practices of, I guess, of how to move forward with certain things, or like
Mm-hmm.
feeling like in the states of shock. Because if you stop, it's like if you just don't move at all, I think it's worst, right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm
Like,
scared of a little bit.
right. It's almost like when you break up in a relationship and you are living in the same place, thinking of the same memories. I mean, if you're not moving or taking walks or like just taking your head off, distracting it, I mean, it's really easy to just fall in a cycle of like depression or just not
Yeah.
knowing what to do. But I wanted, yeah, I was thinking of like, what if we had like a week, and in each day we created a practice for each day. So like
Mm.
the idea goes like, today's Monday, and it's like little things like Monday, I'm not gonna judge myself. I'm gonna go through my whole day, and oh, I spilled the drink. Okay, um, it's okay. It happens. Instead of going, oh, you're such an idiot. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it happened. Then Tuesday, today's a day that I want to do for giving and receiving love. So if you get compliments, accept them, but
Yeah.
also be like complimenting people. Hey, I love, I giving love, or I don't know, like just expressing, hugging a dear one or something. Then like, I don't know, Wednesday you do, you sit down and you write. And then Sunday, for example, no phone, no TV. So like things like that, and I was just curious as if you had any idea, or like, I don't know, other things that people can do, because you, since you are in it, like right now you're in like the eye of the hurricane. Is that what we call
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
it? I don't know. I don't know. There are things that you think that have helped you in some way, at least to just keep moving and not like stay like in a kind of like constricted state.
Well, see, that's the issue. I feel like I've been stuck. Like I've had a hard time moving. And so I really like this concept of like Monday, no judgment. Wednesday, you write a little bit.
Yeah,
I really like that. It's a good
yeah,
idea because like I don't know if I'm the right person to give an answer on that because I have
right.
felt so stuck. But I've been like collaging is something that I can do, and that's really fun for me. Um,
But
my like
also, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
No, no,
Oh,
I was just gonna say that too. That there's nothing wrong with that too, and I didn't want to make it
yeah.
sound like I think it's okay to be stuck as well and not moving. Like I
Yeah.
hope that I'm not saying like come
No, you
across as like no, you have to move. You
no,
know,
no, no, you're not. You're not.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But another thing that like my playwriting mentor told me about is that like I told her that I was feeling really creatively frustrated, and of course she was like, "Well, are you writing?" Because she's my playwriting mentor, and, and I was like, No." but she was like, I want you to write, just sit down and write anything for 23 minutes a day. Just write straight. And I was like, why 23 minutes? And I realized that it's 23 minutes because she makes me think about why it's 23 minutes. And like,
Oh.
and so that number is totally stuck in my head. I'm like, oh, I should just write for 23 minutes. Like, it's just like the smallest little psychological things where it's like, oh, sure. So I think that that's a fun little thing. I think reading poetry is also like
Yeah.
something cool that people can do because it's not the same commitment as like getting into a book. Like you can literally just open up a page and read something creative and beautiful, and maybe you hate it, but that evokes a reaction anyway. I think just spending time with people and laughing with them. Sometimes my roommates and I will like have a script and we'll just like read it.
No way.
Like very
That's
rarely.
so fun
Well,
though.
because we all met doing theater in high school.
I see.
So like yeah. And yeah, like someone that we knew from high school sent us a script that he had been working on, and he was like, no, we haven't talked in a while, but do you guys want to do this? And we were like, sure. Kind of thing. So I think it's just like finding ways to engage in creativity despite not being able to engage in the way that you want to.
Right.
And it's never going to be satisfying, but it's important anyways so that you don't lose hope. Like when I first moved here, like there's so many nice people when I first moved here that were like, that I knew from college, that I knew from Minneapolis, that were like, oh, I have this friend, you should meet up with them. So I met up with like so many people when I first moved here for coffee and stuff that work in the theater industry, which was great, but like none of their companies are hiring and they're like unemployed and they're having a hard time too. And so it's not like it led anywhere, but I got to know these people and they got to tell me things about like their experience. And this one woman, like it just stays in my head so much because she was like, yeah, everyone that works in like theater industry here like needs a day job. So make sure you get a day job, but be really careful because I've seen a lot of people not come back.
What?
And that terrifies me.
Oh, that's scary. That's not even worth thinking about it.
But it's so scary. Like it's like, am I gonna come back? Like I'm working at a bookstore full time, and I don't know what I can do creatively until like things are back to normal, which they never fucking will be.
But I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this, and this is sort of like, I mean, it gives me hope every time I think about it. It's like, yes, you're in a day job right now, and still your heart craves what you love.
That's very true. Yeah.
Like, as long as you always keep that little spark inside of like, I'm not doing it, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm eating Cheerios right now, but I don't want to be eating Cheerios my whole life. It's still there. I know eventually I'll learn how to cook eggs. And I'll find them. Even if I have to walk to a farm, I'll find them.
I have to raise the chicken myself.
Yeah. And that's how I feel for you too. Also, like, we also have to understand, I mean, we gotta give ourselves leeway. We're just beginning, or I don't know, a new kind of transition in our life. And I think a lot of people don't acknowledge that transitions take time.
Ugh.
I know, right? It's like what? You've only been there like what, 5 months?
Yeah.
Not even a year.
But I have to get on it right away. I have to be the single one.
Of course. But like
No.
a friend
That's what my brain tells me. It's like you need to be different. You need to be the one that like does things right away and is really impressive. I'm like,
Right.
bonk, shut up.
I think that's our ego playing games with us sometimes. It's like, do you know that a lot of people after Orson Welles, you know Orson Welles, right? He wrote
Yeah,
Citizen Kane.
1984.
Yeah, he did that when he was 25 years old. A lot of filmmakers, a lot of people are like, I have to do something before I'm 30. I have to do something before I'm 25 so I can be as great as them. And they,
Well, because I'm sorry. You go.
yeah, yeah, what? Please.
For some reason we equate like doing things young as being more impressive. And we want to be impressive. And I don't know why. Well, I know why, because it feeds our ego and it like makes us feel good about ourselves. But it's like,
literally ego though. Like, think about it.
I
It's like,
know.
it makes us feel what, you know what I mean? Like, I've thought about it, and this is not to say that I don't feel the same way. Yes, I've felt the same way, but I'm also like, wake up. Like, what are you doing?
Right, like you're well, and that's also a fine line. It's like, shut up, why do you think that you're special versus like not shooting yourself down all the time. It's like finding that healthy balance.
Absolutely. And I don't think and I don't mean not telling yourself, yeah, exactly. Like, you are special. You're here. Like, the fact that you're breathing and leaving and like, you're here. Like,
Yeah.
the probabilities of that are almost impossible for you to be here, and you're here. So you're meant to be here, and you're going to bring something really cool. And you
Mm.
already have the intention. Like, people already come with this, like, desires in them. Like, and I think there's a reason for those desires too. Like, not everyone wants to be a theater director and
Yeah.
work with people like you do. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
want that, and because you want it, I think it's gonna happen. Same thing. Like, not everyone wants to do a conversation about creativity right now, for example, but I wanted to, so I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So it's all these little things, right?
Yeah.
But to give ourselves leeway too, it's like, if you're a creator, if you're an artist, or you're a creative person, you're like, there's no range of age. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can be 80 years old and you're still painting.
Yeah.
How many people don't paint when they're like 90 years old, or like do whatever the fuck they do? I mean, I'm not saying only painting, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why put all this pressure on our shoulders and carry it with us while we're
Mm-hmm.
young and active and we need to run? We need to be in movement.
Yeah.
We don't need this baggage right now. I don't need this pressure. I actually need to flow. Yeah.
Mm.
Gotten Yeah, you inspired me to a little went on a rant, but
I loved it. I loved it so much.
um yeah, switching up a little bit of things, I am curious,
Mm.
how do you read so fast? Like, how do you do it?
I don't know. Like, I think well, I was like a big reader when I was a kid. So like I read a ton when I was younger. And then when reading started being required for school, I stopped really reading, which is fascinating and something to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It really depends on the book. Like the reason that I was reading so fast like the past week or so is because I was reading like 350-page rom-coms. Like I was in such a rom-com phase, and those are so easy to digest. Like
Right.
it's not fantasy, so there's no world that you need to get used to. Like it takes place in our world,
Okay.
and like the world follows the same rules that our world follows, so I don't need to like readjust to anything. It's like
Right.
normal people, humans, like that's what it is. And it's just like so easy because it's like, oh, these people hate each other, but suddenly they're stuck on a vacation together. I wonder
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. Like,
Right.
you know how it's gonna end too, which makes it a lot easier to keep going.
Oh,
Or in some senses. I think with like romance, that's the way things go, is like you know how it's gonna end, and so you can keep going because no matter how rough it gets in the middle, like you know that it's gonna have a happy ending usually.
so do I have to read like romances or love related things?
No. What do you mean have to? No.
Like, because I don't know, is there like something about, well, I guess you read something that you like, huh?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you read something that you like. And I usually read like fantasy and sci-fi and stuff. And so that's why that was the example is,
Hmm.
but like I really just needed a break and needed something light and fluffy. And
Right.
so like that's why I've been reading romances, because like they're predictable and it feels okay. Because I've been stuck in a rut. I feel like there's nothing that I can do. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. Hang on.
All
My
right.
brain is rewiring because I wanna I can't see anything concrete that I've been creating, right?
Hmm.
Like there's no show that's going up. There's nothing. I'm reading, but like that's not something concrete that I am
Of course.
making. I am thought about ordering like an algebra workbook.
What?
Yes, because it feels like everything is so out of control. It feels like everything is so out of control. I can't find the answers to anything. Everything feels just so up in the air. I was like, you know what? I just need to solve some math problems
That's
because
fucking incredible.
because then at least like I will have solved something and I will have a correct answer. I will have something.
Oh my god, you should do that.
It
Please
just like
do
goes to show stuck how
it. Right.
stuck we feel. It's like
Right.
I would do fucking algebra to have an answer in front of me.
It is really pleasing when you like solve it and it's
I
like
know. I was
it's
like,
so please.
I need to feel like I've solved something.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Anyways,
I love that. I love that idea. It's so brilliant. I love your mug too. It's really cool.
thank you. My cousin actually got it for me when I was a bridesmaid in her wedding.
Oh, sweet.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I trust you, Giselle. I just know that this period of your life is gonna mark such an important part of your journey, and I just can't wait to see what you come up with in the next few years. Cause it's just I'm it's like a building block. I know it's like a fucking annoying building block, but I can just see that it's just gonna breed something really beautiful.
It's churning right now. It's churning.
Yeah.
It'll come. Thank you,
Um,
Alan.
no, of course. Yeah, and on a lighter note, you said you wanted to share some journals of yours.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, for the listeners, Alan and I did not like each other when we first met.
Holy shit! You have to tell that story. I forgot. Yes.
So our freshman year of LMU, I was assistant stage managing a play, and Alan was on the run crew, and I was just like in charge of him because there was so many technical elements and so many deck cues. And Alan was the fucking most annoying person I'd ever met. And he took his job so seriously, which I think is so charming now. But looking back, I literally wanted to throttle him, and he had nightmares about me.
I did. I
Yeah.
literally. It was so stressing to be under your
I'm
shadow.
so sorry.
And here's the thing. For the listeners too. I'm doing crew, so it's basically like you're working behind the scenes. That's not like what a creator wants to do. I don't think.
Right.
Like it. Same with you. Like you. I don't know. Unless you love what you were doing. I don't know.
I really enjoyed that job.
Okay. Is it because you got to whip us and exert
Okay.
control? You
No,
fucker.
it's because I mean, like going way back to like the concept of feeling special. Like I was doing a very big job for a freshman, and
Right.
I was very good at it, and so it was like, like I feel good. It wasn't because I was like in charge of people.
Okay, okay. Well, yeah, so yeah, she was on top of her shit and she scared the shit out of me and I had nightmares. But then how did the table
But
turn?
anyways, all this to say that we went to Bonn, Germany together after that horrific experience of disliking each other. And it started out and I was like, oh shit, like this dude's on the trip. Like, fuck that. He's gonna take his run crew way too seriously and try to be a character and an actor again. And I grew so in love with you. Like, and that's how we became friends. Like, we just realized that when we work together instead of against each other, like
Yeah,
beautiful things happen. And just
yeah,
I grew to love you so much. And I feel like we both grew as people there.
yeah.
And so there's a whole new generation of children running around in Bonn, Germany right now. And so that's had me thinking about Bonn a lot and like
Yeah.
just like missing who we were. And so I thought that I would share like one of my most prized possessions, which is the journal that I kept when I was in Bonn.
Wow.
Yeah, and like also just like traveling around Europe because
It
like I
looks so
collect.
legendary. It looks like
Oh,
the
it's huge. It's huge
yeah.
because like I taped everything in there and I wrote about everything. Like I have all the theater exercises we did. I have like all my emotions. I do postcards. Like this is just a bunch of tickets, like a page of tickets.
Let me pin you.
And,
Let me see. Whoa.
like this is just a page of tickets that I did. Like there's just like like every time I would go somewhere new, it would be like that kind of thing. But I also have like this is our last day of the program where I got everyone to sign the journal and yeah, like these were the petals on the opening night flowers that I got from like Neno and Marcus and Skaska, and that's the postcard that Marcus gave me. And it's just like I go back to this journal a lot because it's
Wow.
just
Wait,
really
like
incredible.
not
Like
that your journal looks like a work of art. Like my journal is so
yeah.
sad compared to yours.
Oh, stop. It's not about comparing.
No, I know, but I love how like much love and care you put into. Can you show me the signature one like up
Oh
close?
yeah, let me find it. But also I want to show you this one.
That's the glove.
It's the glove, and I wrote like the lyrics to the song.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Holy
Um,
shit!
that
Just
was Alan and I scene together, everyone.
yeah, we had a scene
We had
together.
like
It
a
was
10-minute scene together with Ilse and oh my god, what was his name?
Moritz.
Moritz.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was.
And I'm so jealous of you because you already got to see it, right?
Have you not seen it yet?
No.
I can show it to you. I have it.
Please.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
watch it.
Yes.
Yeah, we can watch it. Hang on.
Yes, I've been dying to see it. I haven't been able to see it. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the last day signatures.
Oh. Wow, you have everyone there.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so beautiful.
I think everyone except Neno.
Oh, look at Rai. Rai's also there. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Gavin. Nano didn't sign it?
I don't think he was in the room.
I don't think
I
I
like
signed
passed
it.
it. I passed it around.
Oh yeah, I don't think I signed it. Uh-oh.
You didn't?
I don't think you like me. I'm sorry.
That's so sad.
That's so sad. I'll sign it later.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah. Can I show you a picture? Because you made me think.
Yeah.
Let me think of this, and I.
And then I gotta show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, for those of you who don't know, Giselle was my Valentine on that trip.
I forgot.
Yes. And guess who has a picture? I do.
Oh
Look
my
at this
god.
cutiness. Look at this cutiness.
Oh my god. Look at
Look at
us.
this. That's so cute. I think we did it both ways. I don't know why. And oh, and we had that. That was later. That was another thing. Okay.
Ugh,
Remember that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
I
this is
feel like that's when things started turning around for us.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a change, right?
Yeah. Huge
Yeah.
change.
I love that. Love that for
Yeah.
us.
Me too. Let's see. Where's my oh well this is like forming, flowing, flying, radiating stuff. And this is I was sitting there in pugs and suddenly it pugs. Anyways, what I wanted to show and what I think could be like the thumbnail if you wanted was this collage that I made of our poster.
Wow.
Yeah. Or just anything. I thought it was fun.
I love that. Yes, absolutely.
But
Please.
there's
Yeah.
I just like I just really am proud of this journal because like I just kept tickets and everything.
Look, Dubrovnik. Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to like go through that journal with you. I just
I
want
have
to
it scanned. I can send it to you. Well,
Yeah.
no, there's a lot of personal
No,
stuff.
well, yeah, like only the movement stuff for the stuff
Yeah,
that you
right.
can share. I don't want to hear your feelings like that. No,
Yeah, you better not.
that's very intimate.
Yeah,
I
you're
res-
not. Yeah.
well,
It's just like I don't know, like this
wow.
like the trip really marked first of all, I chose it to share because like it was our turning point of like being best friends forever and you can't get rid of me. And second of all, because I feel like it awakened a lot in me creatively and like
yeah.
I think back to that when I feel so stuck in a rut, I'm like, I'm going to feel like that again someday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to feel as good as I did there and as sure of myself as I did there.
Amen. And you know, it's crazy too because that you're mentioning this. I don't know if I also told you, but there's been this weird thing in the air too where like I've been just coming back to that experience, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there are certain experiences in your life that they mark you, but there's also like I feel like it's repeating itself in a different lens. Like I feel like there are things that I'm living today that I'm putting lessons that I learned in that trip to practice.
Yeah.
Very specifically from that trip, like very little things about that.
Right. That didn't hit until like now.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was like what, 3 years ago, basically.
3 whole years ago.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Well, my love, thank you so much for your
Thank
time, for your
you.
love, for your charming charisma too. This has been lovely. I feel like I took away a lot. I hope listeners did too. And I just want to wish you the best of success on this upcoming months. For real.
You too.
Thank you.